tonight is Steve Olson. And if you aren't aware, we got 8 inches of new snow last night. Steve is a patroller on Mission Ridge. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. And the name of his speech is called It Snowed Last Night. Please welcome Steve Olson.
I'd like to bring all of you into my world on the mountain tonight. And coming to your meeting tonight, you all came through an avalanche path, the stair. The angle of a stairway is about 35 to 38 degrees, and that's the perfect slope angle of an avalanche. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. And this time of year, we spend a lot of time kind of reevaluating what happened this past year in avalanches throughout the U.S. There's a lot of different avalanches that, if you read on the paper and that, you'll hear different avalanches, snowmobilers, skiers, snowboarders, snowshoers, hikers. All of these are different. They're all different, but they all come to the same point. That this is a very busy street out here. When we run across the street at this time of night, with all the cars and the traffic and that, we know better. But yet, people get hit by cars every day. People get caught in avalanches every day. It's really troubling to see that it doesn't go away. We teach people, I teach people continuously. We have classes on the mountain every weekend talking about avalanches and avalanche prevention and protecting your buddy, because they're the person that's going to save you in an avalanche. A lot of this happens out of bounds. This isn't happening in a ski area. It's happening out of bounds. It's happening in closed areas. It's happening on streets that you don't run across the freeway. But it continues to happen. And the role that the ski patrol plays in a mountain in mitigation, it used to be called avalanche control, now it's avalanche mitigation. I'm sure an attorney had something to do with that. But we can't control Mother Nature. We don't know. We do our best studies. We dig holes up in the mountain and we look at the snow, we look at the levels, and you can feel the different types of snowpack and weather events. It's like a big cake, and there's all these different layers down to the earth, down to the ground, and that plays a huge role for the entire year of what is down here at the very bottom. What is the snowpack sitting on? And a lot of years we have a very poor base that then this layer starts to build up, but it's constantly changing. It's constantly metamorphosing into a more cohesive block of snow, if you will. But we don't know how fast that's going to happen in that. So we do a lot of studies in that. Then we use avalanche transceivers, which is a radio device that we put on our body, and you hope your friend has one. If you ever buy an avalanche transceiver, buy 2. So you can have one and you give it to somebody that's with you so they have one. Because if they don't have one, they can't find you. So we use transceivers to protect ourselves. We use Mission Ridge, and thanks to Arlberg Sports, bought us flow bags after a very dear friend of ours was killed at Stevens Pass, to help protect us, to keep, if we get in an avalanche, to keep us on top of the snow. It has a ripcord and it blows up, and you have a big pillow behind you.
Oh, wow.
And they're really fun to pull on somebody in the lodge when you're not looking. But let's talk about what we do to control avalanches in ski areas. We do a lot of different things, and we do it from the top of the mountain. We go to the very peak of the slope. We don't want to be in the middle of the street. We want to be at the top of that 38-degree slope, so that if we break something loose, it's going to all flow away from us. We ski cut, which, a ski cut would be standing on an avalanche path, and I'm looking across, saying, okay, I'm gonna ski from here to that other table across the room. And my partner's gonna watch me from a very safe location, and I'm gonna ski from here. And if I cut something loose, and while I'm doing that, I'm jumping up and down on the snow and hoping it doesn't go whoop, whoop, and take off. But if it cuts out, I'm gonna probably fall uphill and it's gonna be gone. So that's ski cutting, and we do that a lot at Mission Ridge in the mornings. This is all happening before any of you ever come to the parking lot or get to the lifts in the morning. The next part's the fun part. We get to blow stuff up. Has anybody heard charges in East Wenatchee or areas? Well, that's us having a really good time. And we use dynamite. I could go into it deeper, but it really doesn't matter. It's an explosive. It's a tube about the size of your arm that has a fuse laced through it with 90 seconds on it. So we live in 90-second time frames when we're up on the mountain. And we're setting these charges, and what we're really doing is we're not trying to blow up the snow. We're trying to set a concussion or a sound wave across about the face of the slope with the concussion from the explosion. A lot of times we'll suspend them on cables and things like that to get more effect. It's not it hitting the snow that does it, it's the sound wave. But when you hear the boom, 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 we call those sequential fire, and we're talking on the radio, and what we're trying to do is get a big concussion all the way across one of the faces of the hills. And all this is done before the public ever gets to the mountain. It's done differently in other areas. My son works at Alta, and they have come up with the concurred idea of, let's do it while the people are on the hill. And they do it, but you do not cross a rope in Utah. That is, I mean, it is ingrained in people down there. Up here, they duck our ropes like it's nothing. Closed, what do you mean? It's not me. It's everybody else. In Utah, you don't do that because they're controlling, while you're skiing on the other runs, they're controlling the runs next to it. So very different in that sense. But there were 25 deaths this year in the United States. And I wish that every one of those deaths, they would look at these adventure films and all these fancy ski films that you see and look at the work that really goes in before these people ever ski, these monster slopes that you see on TV. They go through all this avalanche preparedness and looking at the slope and that. And I just wish they'd see that. It would be so much more people that would maybe not die in the avalanches every year. But thank you.